This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Hi, my name is Igor Kheifets, and this is The List Building Lifestyle, the only podcast which delivers cutting-edge conversion strategies from the online trenches straight to your earbuds. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. I also invite you to grab a free copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. And now, once again, it's time to claim your list building lifestyle.
Welcome back to another edition of List Building Lifestyle. List Builders, I have your hero, Mr. Igor Kheifets. How's it going, brother?
Hey, Jonathan, going well. There's like 4 people in the coffee shop today. It's really relaxed. I'm chilled out and, just the perfect vibe for recording an episode.
All right, man. Well, what do you have in store for us today?
Well, I want to discuss one of the biggest issues for people, which for me, it's not an issue at all, but it looks like everyone's confused. Like, what's the best day and time to email your list? You ever wonder about that?
Yeah, it reminds me of something you told me, and I don't know. I wish I could remember which episode it was. It was like in the very beginning when you told me that you started your hustle and started emailing twice a day. And I don't know if you had the experience a couple months back where the AWeber, I think rates across all autoresponders dropped badly, but AWeber, my open rates dropped to about a third, and I took your advice and I started emailing my list twice a day. I would email my normal 9 p.m. at night, and then I would do the no opens at 9:15 in the morning, and it brought my open rates back. So I don't know if there's a great time to email, but I know emailing more is good.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, you kind of answered the question. The best time to email your list is every single day. Now, which time of day? To be honest, for me, it's a really difficult question because I mail multiple times per day to kind of hit multiple time zones, right? Because there's the Pacific, there's the Eastern, there's the Central, there's the European, there's the British, which is no longer a part of the European, unfortunately. There's like a bunch of different time zones, and the marketplace is so global thanks to the internet that there's no perfect time of day to email your list, which is why, we can get away with mailing twice, 3 times, 4 times a day as long as it's all relevant. But the best day to email your list is all the freaking time, every single day, even on 4th of July. On 4th of July this year, I doubled my click-through rates and my open rates, believe it or not. Like, a lot of people don't even mail on 4th of July. Yeah, like, the best they could do is just send, like, a Happy 4th of July email, Now, the more advanced marketers will do a Happy 4th of July email and tie it into a promotion. However, I just ignored the whole 4th of July thing, and I just focused on the very specific, like, benefit-driven email. Like, if this is what you want, go here to get it. And my open rates and my click-through rates doubled for my customer list on this day. A day when supposedly everyone's supposed to be outside partying, getting drunk, firing fireworks, whatever. Like, I just made more money than on an average day.
How about that? And then people are ignoring. Well, why do you think it is that people are afraid to email every day?
Well, for the same reason that people in real life are afraid to go and learn how to sell, because they don't know how to communicate, and they don't realize that for as long as you're relevant and infotaining, you are a welcome guest in their inbox. People usually feel like a pest.
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Yeah. Like, people feel like a pest because they feel, oh, I'm here to sell them something. I'm a pest. I'm a bad guy. However, if you're selling something good and you're doing it in a way which is educational and entertaining all at the same time, then you're someone they welcome in their life. That's why you can get away with mailing twice a day, 3 times a day, because your stuff is actually something they anticipate and expect, and they want to hear from you. So rather than thinking of yourself as a pest, as an unwanted person in their inbox that they sort of like tolerate, like that annoying cousin you've got, right? Think of yourself as their best friend, as someone who they're happy to hear from. Like, I got this buddy of mine, one of my best friends. Like, we get together for coffee once a day. Now, unfortunately, Jonathan, thanks to you, we had to skip coffee today because I had to sit down and record. And, I told him, of course, that it's your fault. But, usually we get together and we just sit down and we have coffee once a day. However, there's days when I would call him up or he would call me up and he's like, hey, dude, let's have coffee. And even if we had coffee 3 hours ago, I'm like, sure, let's do it. Because the whole experience of having coffee with my buddy is something I look forward to. It's something that I enjoy, something that I like, which is why you have to make your emails infotaining. Because if they like them, if they anticipate them, if they get this value in form of entertainment from them, they will love to hear from you every day, even if it's Christmas, 4th of July, and so on and so forth.
I'm thinking when people don't email, they're more of a pest, because the people that email less seem to me to only email when they have something, I'm going to do air quotes here, something important to say, right? Air quotes, or something to offer. Are you offering stuff in every email?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just following Ben Sell's advice on this one and pitching in every single email. I don't remember the last time I sent out an email without a pitch. The only time I think that I've ever done that was when I did a mini launch to my list, and I've had 5 emails that were like warm-up emails towards a big thing. That was when I did not pitch in every email. I waited to pitch to the last one when I built up the interest. But when it comes to my daily emails, absolutely, every single email ends up with a link to my traffic service. And lo and behold, my traffic service is doing really well.
Gee, I wonder why.
And we just recently installed a CRM, which is like CRM is. Can you explain what a CRM is, Jonathan? Because
Yeah, customer retention manager. So the way I look at CRM, so let's go basic. Most of us have like an Aweber or some sort of autoresponder. That's the first level of getting a lead. And the way I look at a lead is that's a seed, right? That person on your email list is a seed, and they grow into your CRM. So once they go into your email list, then your next goal is to turn them into a customer. And when you turn them into a customer, that's where that seed is growing, and that's what the CRM is for. Now you're adding leaves onto that tree, right? Because you have their credit card information, you have their address, you have their phone number. And if you use a CRM properly, then you're always adding to that, which is more branches and more leaves. So you find out what books they like, you find out what their wife's name, you find out that their son just graduated. And by the end of some time, you have a really built out view of who your customer is, what they like. And that's why it's a customer relationship manager, because you know enough about them and you can keep that relationship going if you're using it properly.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I don't think I've heard a better explanation of what a CRM is. So to me, this is a data management platform where I can track things. I can find out how many people am I converting from the total amount of people that are reaching out, how many customers come from this source or that source, and so forth. And so, believe it or not, Jonathan, about 53% of my monthly business comes from repeat customers, from people who've been on my list for a while. Now, would it happen if I wasn't emailing them every day and pitching every email? Hell no. Hell no. It only happens because I'm in their face all the time, obviously in this, doing it a certain way. And if you still don't understand what infotainment is and how we do it, I recommend going to bensill.com/free to get a taste for it. Definitely get on Ben Sell's newsletter. Get on my list for sure. Go to igorsolis.com and submit an application. You'll be added to my list automatically. And see how we mail in order to kind of get understanding on what infotainment is. And that is how you turn from being one of those marketer types to becoming that person they actually want to hear from. And your name, actually not your subject lines, but your name becomes a force in their inbox.
That's the thing I believe most people overlook. They think the subject line is the strength, and the way that you do it, the way that Ben does it, the way that I do it, it's your name. Because once they start seeing you every day, they become interested in what you're going to, well, they either become interested or they get the hell off, and either way is fine with me. But that name is more powerful than anything.
Yeah. And Kevin Hokoana said the exact same thing when I spoke to him. Ray Higdon, I think, mentioned it as well. Like anyone who's a really powerful email marketer realizes it at some point that the name matters more than the subject line. And the way I found out, it was when I started, I developed this group of coaching clients who paid me a lot of money. And incidentally, I mean, I guess it was inevitable. They started stealing my subject lines. They just went in and they're like, oh, Igor's my coach and I paid him a lot of money. So now I supposedly have permission to copy and paste his entire emails. And so sometimes they would steal the whole email. Sometimes they would just steal the subject line. Either way, it wouldn't work for them. They would come back and it would be like, Igor, it doesn't work and blah, blah, blah. And, your swipes don't work. I'm like, dude, check out my results. They work. Okay, why don't they work for me? Well, because you're not Igor. Okay, you haven't developed your voice and you haven't built up the credibility and the authority with the client through your daily emails. They've been getting my emails for a month now. They've been enjoying them for a month. Some of them are hating me, but still read my emails just to see what I'm going to say next. So naturally, my name is what pops up for them. Like when they scan their inbox for relevancy in the morning, my emails don't get thrown into the trash because they are important on some level. And yours are not. So they get thrown into the trash, they get marked as spam, etc., because your name isn't worth anything. But again, you make it worth something by daily, consistent emailing.
So that's the problem when people are trying to reverse engineer. They look at what you're doing and they say, hey, that subject line must have worked. I'm going to use that. That's the reverse engineering. How important is it to actually get the information from the source, like to work with you and to be able to be aligned with you versus trying to reverse engineer it?
Yeah, well, I guess when it comes to email, a lot of it comes down to the style, right? So you can't really copy my email and expect to get results. It simply won't work because I got my own style and my own tone of voice in which I deliver the email. However, if you're able to reverse engineer my thinking behind why I use this word, not that word, how come the first line of my email is a 1-word paragraph and not a 5-word paragraph, how come the idea of the email revolves around squeeze pages and not about clicks, etc. This is when you're able to transform or transcend your copy-paste nature, which is how we learned at the beginning, right, Jonathan? Like when we were kids, we model. That's what we do. We just copy and paste. And you're able to transcend that and you start thinking for yourself. You become consciously competent of the kind of process an email marketer goes through when writing an email, and you start following that process for yourself, and you end up developing your own unique version of that process. At which point, this is when you become an authority to your list. When you truly project a unique personality, a unique sense of style, a unique tone, and you're not afraid to do it daily, and you have something important to say.
And do you help your members develop that style? Is that part of what you do when they sign up with you?
Oh, yeah. Not everybody. Obviously, if you just purchase traffic from me, we don't go beyond just, building you a landing page and guaranteeing 30% opt-in rate, which in and of itself is an amazing, I think, guarantee. However, members of my VIP club, which you can find out more about at solovipclub.com, they do get this privilege of having me review their emails and tell them exactly what they're doing right, exactly what they're doing wrong, and exactly how to fix their email so it gets great response. In fact, I have this client who's been going through a rough patch who got great open rates with Aweber, Jonathan, and all of a sudden something happened, just like you mentioned a couple of weeks ago, and his open rates plummeted. And so at first, no one was able to figure out what was wrong. We started working on the swipes. We dramatically improved his open rate simply by teaching him how to write better subject lines, for one. And two, we were able to identify a technical issue which helped him double his open rates simply because the links he were using were getting him into the spam box. So by being hands-on, or should I say more hands-on with my VIP members, because obviously I have my own life, my own business to run, but we do have scheduled times when we get together, and you get access to me on Facebook as well, we're able to help our clients dramatically improve their results.
Excellent stuff, man. So any other tips you can give us to be better email marketers?
Oh, yeah, there's one tip which I never heard anyone mention anywhere, even the one email marketing we all put in the pedestal, Ben Settle, and that is, how do you come up with things to write about? That's one of the biggest questions I get as well, is, Igor, you write so many emails, you say you write 2-3 emails per day, which I do. How do you know what to write about? How do you never run out of things to talk about? And so the reason I never run out of things to talk about is because I don't talk about subjects. I don't just sit there and say, okay, let me choose my next subject, and that is going to be the Chinese economy, right? And all of a sudden I'm like, okay, so what do I write about Chinese economy? That's too big of a subject. That's too big of a challenge, if you will. That's too confusing. You don't know where to start. Instead, what I do is I write about slants. I have a slant, which is a definition of a slant, I believe, is a point of view from which you talk about something. So, Jonathan, you did a great slant in the first issue of your podcast newsletter about what is the proper way to launch a new podcast. Now, you could have probably written about a million other things when it comes to podcasting, like which software to use, or what's the best day to publish a podcast, how many podcasts per week do you have to publish. Like, I actually, this is something I've got just recently. A friend of mine who launches his podcast right now is like, hey dude, what's like the best frequency for a podcast? I'm like, the hell do I know? Ask Jonathan, but that's one of those questions you can talk about. And so all of these are slants. You don't just write about podcasting in general. You focus on one specific point of view or question or element or issue or desire, and you talk about that. So don't talk about list building. Talk about building a list with solo ads. Don't talk about solo ads. Talk about what is the best day to run a solo ad. Don't talk about email marketing. Talk about what is the 3 best ways to increase your delivery rates when using Aweber. So you see, you're going into the specifics and you're offering a point of view. That's the best way to give your list a daily dose of who you are, as well as establish yourself as a trusted authority in the desired field of whatever it is that you're doing.
That's gold. That is gold right there. Break it down into smaller stuff and then give your perspective, and that people that agree with you are going to bond with you. The people that hate you are going to hate you more, and you just keep on making money.
Exactly. You make money either way. You win either way. And I was just talking to Wayne about this the other day. It was like, I got, someone pushed a spam complaint on me. The other guy found me on Facebook and wrote a very angry message to me. I'm like, great, use it. Just make fun of him to your list, because if there's one person who hates you, there's 100 people who love you. It's just they just don't voice it. They don't write to tell you about it. Like Jonathan, how many downloads do we get a week right now on the list building lifestyle?
Oh, right off the top of my head, I think it's a couple thousand.
Okay, so a couple thousand a week. So let's just round it up to say 10,000 downloads a month. Now, with 10,000 downloads a month, going on for several months now, we only have less than 40 5-star reviews. Now, does it mean that only 40 people out of 10,000 people per month who download this thing actually like it? No. Because they keep downloading, so they like it. Obviously, there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. However, only 40 took the time to actually go ahead and submit a review. Many of them actually, Jonathan, because I asked them to. Right? I actually went into my VIP club and I said, hey guys, take a moment to do me a favor and leave a review, an honest review of what do you think about the podcast. And, thankfully, they went ahead and they've done it. They took the time to do it, which is, not an easy thing, and we don't take it for granted, right? We do get an extra, 5 reviews a week, or maybe 5 reviews a month or something. However, most people don't do it. They don't take the time to leave a review, although they really enjoy the podcast. So when I talk to them on Facebook, they'll tell me, hey, Igor, great episode. Or they will like my Facebook posts, which advertise the episodes, or they leave a comment or something. But you see, most people who love you, who adore you, who can't get enough of you, don't take the time to go and tell you, hey, dude, I love you. Or, hey, girl, I really, really enjoy your podcast. Keep going. Like, they don't tell you, but they do love you. They do appreciate you. They do need you to put yourself out there. And not doing so, I think you're doing them a huge disservice.
Yeah, man, you're holding out on them. So what do you have coming up for us next time, Igor?
Next time, I'm hosting Daniel Levis, the email alchemist, and we're going to discuss the 3 cardinal sins of email marketing. So we're going to keep on with the email marketing theme and going to basically blow your socks off. You're going to realize how bad you are when it comes to emails, and like where you are and where the actual line is up to which you can be pushing. So again, huge eye-opener. If you got a list, make sure you listen. If you ain't got a list but you want to build one, make sure you don't miss this episode.
All right, looking forward to it. So that is a wrap for another edition of List Building Lifestyle. We will be back with you next time.
Thank you for listening to the List Building Lifestyle. Make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play to never miss an episode. Because who knows, just one conversion tactic we share on the show might double your list and double your business. Download the transcript of today's episode and all future episodes at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com. And don't forget to claim your complimentary copy of the Wealthy List Builder Survival Guide at listbuildinglifestyleshow.com/survival. This is Igor Kheifets, and until next time we talk, have a good one.
This is the podcastfactory.com.